An oil tanker explodes in the Chaopraya. We've got updates regarding the hazing incidents involving university students. And finally, Songkran will be decided today. Will there be water splashing? That's all coming up on today's Good Morning Thailand. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand, brought to you by Coffee Culture and My Beach Resort, presented by Tim Newton and Jay.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us on a glorious Monday here in Bangkok as we look out of our offices.
It's quite nice and bright.
We'd turn the camera around if anybody could care to do that, but nobody does because they're all sitting behind their computers.
Right.
And Carmel's in a wheelchair, so she can't really move.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we do have timestamps on our video, so you can skip to the part where we're going to talk about the news or why you actually clicked on the video for. Starting off today, Tim, is an important day. It's an important day because today, for maybe the fifth time or 2 weeks in a row, we're going to talk about how the BMA and the CCSA are going to meet to finally decide whether there will be water splashing for this year's Songkran in Bangkok.
Finally decide for today.
Yes.
Before they make another final decision later.
Well, it is possible that they meet again on Friday and undecide what they've decided.
So the big problem has been, as I'm sure everybody is aware, that people have been told you can have Songkran celebrations, but you can't throw water, there can't be alcohol, you can't have large gatherings, you can't have foam parties. So people are sort of going, well, okay, well, what does that mean? So obviously the government is trying to encourage traditional water splashing.
Of course,
so
it means tradition, Tim.
What would your Thai friends do on Songkran Day traditionally?
Traditionally, they'd wake up in the morning, either they have a temple.
I hope so.
Either they have a temple at home or they visit the temple, make merit, cleanse away their sins, ask for forgiveness. They pay respects to elders in the family and their parents.
And the way they do that is
for their blessing.
They sort of wash the hands of their...
That's right, yes. They take some, after they've made merit and prayed a little bit, they take some water, they touch their parents' feet, ask for blessings, and hope for a better new year ahead.
So, and it's the Thai New Year, and it also sort of comes at the same time where the wet season sort of starts. So in the next few weeks after Songkran, usually pretty much on cue, the rains start, certainly in the southern part of Thailand and then across other parts during the following months.
I've never been in a Songkran where it has rained. It's always scorching hot.
It's the hottest time.
And that's why it feels great when the cold water touches your skin.
Right.
Because you're burning from one end and the other end, you're feeling cold at the same time.
But the people in places like Pattaya, Khao San Road, Bangla Road in Phuket, up in Chiang Mai where Songkran's really popular as well, they're saying, well, come on, look, we've lost the last two Songkrans as far as celebrations are concerned. Can we please at least have some form of water splashing? Now, as you, I think, rightfully predicted last week, if they give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah.
And, if they say, OK, limited water splashing, you'll have to keep the distance, only use small water pistols, blah, blah, blah. If they sort of try and put some regulation on the actual water splashing, we'll end up just with a free-for-all.
Well, as far as Pattaya is concerned, the mayor's already come out and said that there will be no water splashing. It's the BMA and Bangkok now that is finally going to make a decision on Bangkok, and it's an important time because the elections for... the BMA and
the mayor.
The mayor of Bangkok is coming up very soon, and perhaps this decision could favor the vote.
It could actually have an impact on the vote, so that there will be a sort of Songkran election dynamic to this.
Yeah.
But if they allow parts of Khao San Road to have some sort of water splashing, you can rest assured that it'll be right across the country.
Well, Khao San has a lot of power, doesn't it? Because they were the ones who actually got the BMA to basically meet the CCSA and have this meeting today and decide everything, because there was outcry from all the businesses from Khao San in particular saying that, come on guys, let us host these activities.
I've got a question for you after a quick note from Carmel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
Hello.
Oops, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that was my cue. There are two things. First one is
the word Carmel sort of gave it away, I thought.
I'm sorry. Damien Jesser said that it's his birthday. He's a member
Oh, happy birthday, Damien.
Yeah.
Well, Damien, because you're a member, you not only get our salutations and thanks, you get Jay now to sing happy birthday for you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Damien. Happy birthday, Damien Jessa. Happy
Sounded
birthday
like
to
you're
you.
just narrating the birthday song.
That was
Maybe.
the birthday rap there from Jay.
Whatever that
Well
was.
done. And
Okay.
congratulations, Damien. Good luck
I love
to you.
how you literally, in the middle of talking about Songkran, the CCSA, just made me sing happy birthday to Damien. That's how important the Thaiger members are to us.
Happy birthday. Carmel.
Second one is Sick Puppy is asking, like, what will be the Songkran plans for Phuket? Is it
Well, I think what happens today.
Phuket's just skating by, isn't it? It's just really
Yeah.
quiet. Nobody's really talking about Phuket. They're just like, all right,
We're doing our
we'll do
thing."
us. Yeah.
I think what happens with the decision over Khao San Road today will impact all the Songkran activities everywhere in the country. And whatever the BMA decides today, I think we'll probably see that discussed or replicated by the CCSA later this week, because we're getting to the end of the month, and that means that it's decision time for any relaxation of restrictions. We've heard nothing really, have we?
Yep.
We know that on the 1st of April they're going to remove the pre-travel PCR test.
Yes.
That's sort of about all we know. There hasn't been any other rumours. My question to you, Jay,
Yeah.
was about Songkran, was going to be, do you think Songkran is a big tourist attraction? Or is it just something that the tourists that happen to be here go, oh, this looks like fun, we'll get involved in it? Or do you think people actually travel to Thailand for Songkran?
Definitely people travel during Songkran because a lot of people have holidays depending on where they're coming from, because it's also links with Easter, doesn't it? Right?
Well, let me
A,
just
a
check.
lot of people get holidays for Easter.
Hey Siri, when is Easter 2022?
Easter is on Sunday, April 17th, 2022.
Close enough. So people get holidays, a couple
is
of
this
days in
year.
advance.
Yeah.
So that means that people will travel to Thailand with their families. Usually, pre-pandemic times, this is what I'm talking about. People would come here with their families, and I think where else in the world do you get to throw water everywhere, have water wars with people? Whatever it is, you want to come here and get wet and get drunk or have a party. It's just basically a big party out on the streets where you get to throw water at everyone,
Including police.
It's one of the best festivals in the world.
Yeah, I sort of love it for about 10 minutes and then happy to go home. The other thing I was going to say is that if you're a Christian this year, you can come and do Songkran and do limited water splashing and perhaps pour water over a Buddha whilst eating a chocolate Easter egg.
All right. Carmel's got another comment.
Robert McDonald said that the water splashing
Ronald
has...
McDonald?
Yes, Robert McDonald.
Oh, Robert McDonald.
Yeah, the water splashing has little to do with COVID. If they wanted to stop spreading COVID, they should stop interprovincial travel.
Well, yes, you could argue that it's not so much the actual Songkran festival, the water splashing that might have caused an increase of cases. It's just people going home, heading out of the city or heading out of their 5-day-a-week job back to their family homes for the annual festival, mixing it up with their elderly relatives.
Yep.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Someone's phone's buzzing.
Oh. Oh, it's coming through. Oh, I beg your
coming
pardon.
through the mic.
I do have a phone call coming through. Oh, it's not who I thought it would be. Do you think I should take it? No, I don't think so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry about that.
Let's talk about now some sad news. You might have been familiar with the same news, something along the lines of this. There's been another oil tanker on the Chaopraya River that has unfortunately exploded. Now, as of right now, one crew member is dead and 3 people are injured, and we've got some video regarding the explosion that Num's going to run. What is believed to have happened is that sparks have erupted in the anchor windlass room, and therefore causing a huge explosion.
You're right up on the bow of the boat. The whole bow's been completely disfigured by the explosion.
Firefighters used chemical foam and water to contain the fire, and so far, unfortunately, this is something similar to what happened a couple of weeks ago, Tim. I think we were talking about this.
There was a big explosion several weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this is just another one, and I mean, questions will have to be asked about the safety of some of these tankers, particularly when they're unloading oil and large amounts of oil. So 3 million litres of crude oil were about to be unloaded along the Chaopraya River in very close proximity to Bangkok.
Yeah.
So I think, some big questions are going to have to be asked. So yet another big fire, big explosion on a boat on the Chaopraya River.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an update for you regarding the incident that involved students hazing.
Nasty.
Yeah, of a freshman, and so the Thai University students who were involved in I believe there was 15 of them. They have been expelled from the university
Over the Rajamangala something university in Isan.
Yes, over the death of 19-year-old Patyot Prem Shonpakdi. 10 students involved directly have their exam results over the past semester invalidated. I believe some cash was also offered to the father of the student that passed away. He has actually rejected that and plans to take them to court.
Just to give some detail to that, I think it was 400,000 baht was offered by the university alumni,
yes.
That's past students, and then another 500,000 was offered by the parents of some of the students who were involved in the hazing incident, which led to the 19-year-old's death. Yeah. But the father said no, and he said, basically, I'll see you in court. Now, I just made a very quick phone call to Ben Hart from Integrity Legal. He could call at any time. It wasn't him calling back, by the way, because I wanted to know whether an 18-year-old, or it could be apparently a 20-year-old, you have to be 20 years old to have criminal charges put against you in Thailand. So I'm waiting to find out whether it's 18 or 20 or some other age, because I would have thought if it was over 18, you were considered an adult in Thailand,
yep.
That under the criminal law, these students could be liable for manslaughter charges. Because with intent, they intended to harm this particular student. Obviously, they didn't intend to kill him, but I would have thought both in the civil court and in the criminal court, these students could face severe charges. The fact that they were just expelled? Really? Expelled? That's the best you can do? So, interesting case.
When it comes to the university, there's nothing more they can do apart from expelling them. I guess it's the prosecutors and the courts that have to really punish them for
and the family,
what they've
of course,
done.
To bring civil charges if he so chooses.
Kamal's got a question.
Sri Somasandaram said only expelled. How much bribe was involved in this?
How much?
Bribe.
How much bribery was involved?
Because people don't accept the fact that they were only expelled. They should have a harsher punishment.
That's currently. I think we're going to have to wait and see what updates we have regarding the story. But
you're right in saying, I mean, what else can the university do? I think expelling is about as severe as they can do as a university.
And they have for 10 students they've taken away their exam results for the past semester.
That would be pretty nasty too, having basically wasted an entire year.
But they're in a whole world of trouble. There's a lot more to come for these students for what they've done. Whether it be criminal charges or how they're going to be prosecuted. We'll keep you updated with all the news as it comes.
If you're the judge,
yes,
would you throw them in jail for a short time, just as a bit of an example to other students who think it's somehow a good idea for these initiation ceremonies?
Oh, that's a difficult situation. I mean, I'm not a judge, but personally, just because...
Judge J. It's got a nice ring to it.
Just because I've got, when you hear stories like this and someone died because of hazing, surely they should be punished. Where, I don't know if I should judge they should be in jail and for how long, but... Perhaps.
Because if they don't start making an example of some of these students, and we're talking also not only about students, this happens with the police force, happens with the army, with new recruits. I mean, not a year goes by where we don't report at the Thaiger one of these very sad deaths, and these families will never see their loved one again.
And there were 15 people involved, Tim. Like, how do you decide who gets a more severe punishment? Are they going to turn on each other? The person who was just there, is he also guilty?
Well, it's obviously
because
gonna
you
be-
watched it happen.
There's going to be ringleaders, and the
Yeah.
university's already decided who the ringleaders are, and they're the ones who have been expelled. And then some of the lesser involved students have been given, well, perhaps slightly less severe punishments.
But if you're just standing there and watching someone get beaten up and
well,
you
you're
know,
complicit, aren't you, by just
Yeah.
standing there and doing nothing?
so should they also go to jail because
Well, I
they're
don't
part
think-
of the crime?
No, I think they would probably be released with some sort of bond. But the ringleaders who came up with the whole idea and did the actual initiation and, you know, made the demands for the student, they're the ones who should be given the biggest punishments. Carmel.
Lyle asked, what about sanctions against the fraternity? Do Thai universities
It
have
wasn't a
fraternities?
fraternity, actually, no. So normally hazing takes place in fraternities and when it comes to U.S. colleges or universities. This hazing ritual was basically the seniors doing it on the freshmen, all the freshmen in general.
Now, this is interesting, the terminology you use about fraternities and freshmen and sophomores. This is, to me, very American terminology, but this is the sort of terminology that's used for first and second year university students here?
Yes, so freshman is first year, and in the Thai system, we have Rapnong, where the seniors, whether it be the second year or the third years, they're the ones involved in the hazing of the first year students.
Because in the English colony that I was born in, we don't use this terminology.
What do you use?
Well, they're just first and second year university students.
Fair enough.
We don't tend to have this sort of fraternity culture, but I know this hazing culture is actually quite big in American universities as well. And obviously, it's a difficult thing to stamp out, but in Thailand, it's very much a cultural thing with the army and the police and obviously in the universities, and they need to stamp it out, and they're going to have to make an example at some stage.
I don't know if it was optional in this university or not. In my university, it was optional. I didn't have to participate in the events, therefore I wasn't
What sort of events
part
would
of the
they have
hazing.
been?
Of the hazing?
Yeah.
In my experience, what I went through was just basically, you know, they're trying to teach seniority through shouting at you and trying to put you down and making you feel like, oh, you're so disrespectful, you should respect your elders. And
It's
blah, blah,
basically
blah, blah, blah.
like work here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that. So,
I mean, never left me, just stayed with me.
yeah. Well, that's obviously sort of mild compared to what's happened with this student.
Yes, absolutely.
They were made to take their clothes off, they were forced to drink alcohol, then they were beaten. And sadly, the student died of his injuries.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep you updated on all the latest information at thethaiger.com. As for right now, we're going to take a quick break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about a topic involving Thai politics and who are the current leaders for
this
the
is
next election.
Really interesting.
It is, as well as 2 Minutes Thailand with Nan, a trip down history lane today.
Yes.
So stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back.
Where'd that come from?
You're watching Good Morning Thailand. I've had quite a relaxing break, Tim. I feel like a changed man.
All 15 seconds.
Yes. Thank you to Coffee Culture for sponsoring the show. Over 200 different types of coffee that you can buy at coffeeculture.asia.
And these rather stunning mugs with WTF mug written on them and this amazing artwork. And they're also available on the Coffee Club website, which is...
Not Coffee Club, Coffee Culture.
I beg your pardon. Coffeeculture.asia. Coffeeculture.asia. Let's be clear.
I have the same problem, except I do it the opposite way. I find it difficult to say a word after coffee that is not culture. So currently, Coffee Club has a promotion that's going on, buy one, get one free. So I was asking my friend, hey man, do you want Coffee Culture? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, no, there's a Coffee Culture is doing a buy one, get one. He's like, what? What's Coffee Culture? And I was like, you don't know Coffee Culture? But I meant Coffee Club.
There's also a slight emergency this morning. I came into our repaired coffee machine and I couldn't get it started. So it
Yes.
was somewhat of an emergency at 6:30 in the morning when I couldn't get my daily coffee. I had to actually go out on the street and buy one.
I walked in and just turned the switch on.
Well, I tried that as well, about 20 times.
Also, a quick thank you to My Beach Resort for sponsoring the show. 5-star hotel in Panwa in Phuket.
Now, this is a stunning place.
I mean, classy place.
My Beach Hotel.
Yes.
And Panwa is a sort of a nice little...
My Beach Resort, sorry.
My Beach Resort
Yes.
is a really nice little enclave on the east coast of... It's right away from Patong, Kata, Karon, all that.
It's in the Michelin Guide for hotels.
Yes, so we're not talking about sort of a shabby hotel. This is a pretty nice place, the My Beach Resort.
And you can get a 10% discount if you type in the code Thaiger.
Can you imagine how many people would rush to make bookings there if they had Good Morning Thailand as an outside broadcast? Can you imagine how much that would help them?
Sure.
I don't know how many times I have to say this
We
until
can
they
dream.
call us back and say, Jay, Tim, would you please come down?
We'll
But
try
we'll
to
keep
make
on
that
pushing.
happen. We'll try to make that happen. All right,
Thank
it's now time for 2 Minutes Thailand, Tim. And today's story is a trip down memory lane. Actually, it's quite informative, and it is a little bit of a history lesson. It's about the bridge over the River Kwai.
Which are now a lot of English-speaking people would call it the River Kwai.
That's right.
Up in Kanchanaburi.
The movie got it wrong.
The movie got it wrong. In fact, we had a little quick look at a bit of the movie today.
Yes.
A very young Alec Guinness, who of course is probably better known to the current younger generation as Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars.
And the man who invented Guinness Beer.
He did have an acting career before that.
Yeah.
And it was, and we found the music for the bridge over the River Kwai
Okay. Anyways,
was
watch,
Colonel Bogey March.
watch the video first. We'll be back right after this.
Good morning. Today's topic is about Thailand's part in World War II, the bridge on the River Kwai. The bridge on the River Kwai, which is Sapan Kham Mae Nam Kwai in Thai, is identified to be the Death Railway in World War II. It is located in western Thailand, Kanchanaburi province. In the Second World War, Japan sought to create the transport route through Siam into Burma, which it also occupied between 1942 and 1944 in order to reduce its reliance on sea transport and facilitate faster moves into India. This took the form of the Death Railway constructed by the Japanese using forced labor of hundreds of thousands of civilians from Southeast Asia and prisoners of war. There were more than 60,000 prisoners of war enslaved on the Death Railway. Almost 13,000 are believed to have died. In addition to as many as 90,000 Southeast Asia civilian forced laborers. It was completed in October 1943. The war ended in 1945. Allied forces liberated the Death Railways, remaining prisoners. The railway itself is fully closed in 1947 and along the Siam-Burma border, the section of track was ripped up in an effort to put the railway irreversibly beyond use. The Thai government had to buy this railway from England for 50 million baht. Time passed and it eventually became a tourist attraction in Kanchanaburi. This is a symbol of the World War that took place in Thailand, built with the lives of more than 100,000 people for 14 nations. One prisoner of war wrote that it seems like the train was running on the bodies of human lives when the train ran on the railroad tracks. Have you ever visited this place? Comment below.
Welcome back.
Sad, but very interesting. Thank you very much, Nan, for our 2 Minute Thailand today.
All right. Also, I'd like to give a shout out, Tim, to PK, P full stop, K full stop, and Kurt Stewart for being Thaiger legends.
Oh, well, legend indeed. What are their names again? Because we need to make a fuss about these two gentlemen.
PK and Kurt Stewart.
We assume they're gentlemen's.
Yes.
So thank you very, very much for becoming legends, supporting the Thaiger, allowing us to sit here in front of you and do this once a day.
We appreciate the support.
By the way, usually Natty is filling in for me on Monday, but I stayed in Bangkok this weekend.
Yes, you did.
I basically sat at home and watched my new TV. I can't believe how boring I was. I did watch some interesting TV shows.
All right. Now, on Saturday we did Tiger Bites, and there was a part where we were talking about languages.
Ah, yes.
And so we were talking about this earlier before the episode, but some sites have said that English is the most spoken language.
No. English was the third, and some say it's the fourth.
Oh.
The first two were Chinese,
Okay.
and then Spanish
Yes.
as the most spoken languages in the world. And then some said that Hindi was third, and then some said that that Hindi was fourth.
Okay.
So look, I mean, there's a bit of difference between some websites, and we're not exactly sure. We haven't gone out and done a head count. But you made a note that all these Hindi speakers don't necessarily all speak Hindi.
No, they don't. Even in India, if you go to the south, not many people speak Hindi there. They speak many different languages. They speak Malayalam, they speak Tamil, people from Kerala speak different dialects, I'm guessing. I apologize for all the Keralites. Awesome people. But yes, in the south they speak many different languages, Tulu, like so many. But it's mostly from Bombay or, New Delhi, around those sides. Even in Delhi, like most people speak Punjabi, but they can speak some form of Hindi.
So is Punjabi sort of a dialect of Hindi? Is there any
No, Punjabi is just
similarities?
another language.
Different language again?
Yeah, you can understand some words, but it's quite different, yes.
Okay.
It's just that we have so many people in India that I guess majority of them can speak Hindi.
Now, because the discussion came up because we were talking about somebody saying that, Thai people should learn how to speak English. Mm-hmm. We were saying, well, why? Because they're in Thailand. And a lot of people did mention that English is sort of the de facto language for ASEAN, for a lot of business transactions around the world, certainly for the aviation industry. I suppose the point I was trying to make when saying, well, maybe they should learn something like Chinese instead, is because before COVID happened, 25 to 30%, depending on which part of Thailand you were from, of the tourists coming here were from China. And a lot more Chinese-speaking people were coming to Thailand than English-speaking people, so it may have been advantageous for them to learn Chinese. But yes, we acknowledge that, of course, English is sort of known as the business language, the aviation language, and is probably, and I haven't checked, but it's probably the most popular second language around the world. For people who may have a first language of Chinese, Spanish, Hindi or whatever, English is probably their second language.
Sure.
Well, why are you laughing?
Because you're buzzing again.
Bloody hell. Can't believe
You're
it.
a busy man. You get a lot of calls.
It's amazing.
What are we going to do? All right, let's talk about Thai politics. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a poll done, a NIDA poll, very respected poll around Thailand over 5 days. About 2,020 people took part. With the age range of 18 and over, and 27.62% of Thai people have said that they have yet to see a suitable candidate for Prime Minister.
Yeah, well, that's a fair result. By the way, this is a NIDA poll, so it's a properly conducted, reliable poll. So the results are probably indicative of what's happening in the real world.
That's right. However, currently, ladies and gentlemen, Move Forward Party candidate Pitha Limjaroenrat is the favourite or the most popular candidate to become the next Prime Minister.
Yeah, so people, they were asked who should become the next Prime Minister, and the candidate from the Move Forward Party, which is sort of the remnants or the de facto Future Forward Party, which came third as the most number of votes in the last election in 2019. You had Palang Pracharat, you had I can't remember the exact order, but I think they came third. Anyway, not going to get into that now because it's not relevant.
That's right.
Who came second?
Second was Prime Minister Prayut, and in third place was Pattaya Shinawatra, who is the daughter of Thaksin Shinawatra.
Could be the third Shinawatra in power.
She could be.
And then fourth?
I didn't...
Okay, there was...
it's top three.
There was a leader of the Thai party.
Yes.
And then the former leader of Thai, who's now gone out and formed a new party. So in other words,
Tamnat?
Sudarat.
Sudarat, okay.
So you had the first, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth people as preferred Prime Minister, who are all opposition parties.
Yes.
So if you put all their votes together, it doesn't look very good for the current Prime Minister if the the five people around you in the poll are all basically from opposition parties. And this young man, he's only 41 years old,
Yes.
the leader of the
Lives
Move
very
Forward
young
Party.
as well. Yep.
He's sort of following in the footsteps of Thanaton, whose surname I cannot even...
Or his first name.
Thanaton.
Tanaton.
Thanaton.
You got to sing it, Tanaton.
Thanaton.
Anyways, yes.
So he was a real mover and shaker, but the Constitutional Court threw him out as an elected MP. Won't go into the reasons for that. So very interesting to see what's happening there with these parties and the politics. But it looks like the Prime Minister's sort of lost his shine after 7 years, nearly 8 years now.
Yep. We'll keep you updated on that information as well.
Be 8 years next month. No, in May. May the 4th, was it? That
May the 4th be with you.
when the coup happened. Oh, it's so long ago now. I think it was May the 4th, 2014. So it'd be 8 years coming up in May.
All right. Our last topic today is actually a quick story regarding Pattaya. Now, a restaurant has been closed down, a restaurant manager, because Pattaya police have raided another restaurant that was operating too late and violating the COVID-19 rules.
When you say restaurant, what exactly do you mean, Jay?
A party place.
Yeah, I think you might be talking about a former bar that has been sort of knocked up to look like a restaurant.
That's
so
right.
it can get approval to stay open till 11 o'clock and serve alcohol.
Yeah, for those of you that aren't aware, a lot of restaurants have, changed a few things and moved things around to, fall under the restaurant banner. Former bars, now restaurants, just so that they can continue operating.
Which is just ridiculous that they have to go through all this performance and get all this extra paperwork. It's just an entire farrago.
and still get raided
And then they still get raided.
because they're serving alcohol past 11 p.m.
So, I mean, I get that the police are sort of got to do their job, but be assured in Pattaya and Bangla Road in Phuket and other places around Thailand, there's a lot of paper bags being handed around at the moment.
Yeah, it's always Pattaya in the news with, with that restaurant or gets raided. I mean, Bangkok's a pretty big city. Are there no restaurants here that are operating past 11 p.m. serving alcohol?
Over
Who
the
knows?
past 18 months, Pattaya it appears from the outside, it seems to have been targeted by police and
They keep
officials.
getting whacked with a stick, don't they? It's
We'd say whacked.
yeah, well,
Not the way that Tang Mo was whacked.
No.
A different sort of whacked.
we don't talk about that.
No, we don't.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to take some of your questions regarding any of the topics we've spoken about today. So if you do have any questions,
Go Carmel.
type it up now and Carmen will filter them out for us. We'll be back right after this.
Find the coffee roast you love most. Coffee Culture delivers Thai coffee online. Whole beans or pre-ground delivered to your doorstep in Thailand. Go to coffeeculture.asia and get coffee you love delivered to your doorstep.
And welcome back. In case you've forgotten, you're watching Good Morning Thailand with Tim and Jay. It's now time to take
Why
some
would
of
they
your
have
questions.
forgotten?
Because that's what people keep telling me. I've introduced the name of the show and the hosts about at least 3 to 4 times per episode.
Well, okay, it's our job to remind you that it is morning and that it is Thailand.
Yes.
And this is the Chaopraya River with our lovely tiger painting, which by the way, you can buy at the Thaiger shop.
That's right. Visit the Thaiger shop to buy Thaiger t-shirts, polo shirts,
Not
paintings.
shirts.
Yeah, coffee mugs. We've
Yeah.
got everything. All right, Karma, let's take some of your questions.
Confucius asked,
Confucius?
Yes, what a
Confucius
name.
says is the name, the
Okay.
YouTube name,
Confucius say,
says, what's the situation for entry visas lately?
Entry visas into Thailand.
Yeah.
It's the Thailand Pass. Same,
well, that's
same.
not the visa. That's just the procedure that you have to go through. It's separate from your visa.
Okay.
So you need a visa. If you got a visa on arrival, you should be able to get the visa on arrival. The visas really haven't changed. There's still retirement visa. Well, that's not called the retirement visa. That's just the nickname. But all the current visas are still there.
Did he mean a certain type of visa, or just means entry to Thailand?
He just said entry visa.
So, okay, basically, coming into Thailand as a tourist, depending on where you're from, you can either get visa on arrival or you can pre-arrange your visa from an embassy.
Yes. I mean, if you have specific questions about your country and your particular situation coming into Thailand, you need to either speak to a visa agent, for which you will pay a fee and choose carefully, or contact the Royal Thai Embassy in your country. It's silly for us to give you specific individual advice, because we're not from Thai immigration, we're not agents, and we're not from the embassy.
Why not?
Because we're not paid to give specific advice.
That's
we
fair.
would get 100 messages a day saying, I'm left-handed, I live in Botswana, I support gay whales, and what sort of visa do I need? I go, what? Really?
The elite visa. All right, Carmel.
And then there's the elite visa. You can buy your way into Thailand and not have any problems at all.
Nong Wuaso said Tim for Prime Minister.
Not even slightly interested in politics. I did run for local council once in Australia. I came
For
second.
the city of
Uh,
Barra Creek.
I think it was Udon Whoop Whoop. Where was it? I think it was called the...
Are you thinking about the town you were born in? Where was I born?
I think... No. It was... I think it was called... It was being changed. I think it was called Mornington Peninsula.
This is what I mean by the fact that he's a fake Australian. He just can't get his story straight. All right, Carmel.
When
a
you were
long time
talking
ago.
about the PM election, Dave Tombstone said that the whole thing will be rigged.
The whole thing would be rigged.
Well, I mean, there's rigged and then there's rigged. Back in 2019, some incidents happened and some decisions were made by the Constitutional Court which could be controversial, to say the least. However, the Thai government, the current Royal Thai government, is recognised by constitutionally by the head of state, and also by ASEAN and by the international community. So that's about all we can say about that. Whether you think the junta rigged the election or not, they are recognised as the legitimate government of Thailand.
All right. Any last questions, Carmel?
Using my words very carefully there.
Ryan Bishop said, legalize the greens and we won't have this drinking problem.
Legalise the greens.
Yes, we don't say the C word or the M word.
Or the
okay.
W word.
Yes, the leaves.
Well, yeah, look, I think
He loves the health minister.
personally, I think we've got enough legalised drugs in this world already.
Whoa, we don't say the D word.
Oh, can't I even say that?
We're going to get demonetized.
Can I say the word legalised?
Yes.
Okay, legalised D word in this world. I don't think we need any more.
It's like we're walking on a minefield every time we talk about the green leaf.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Or even showing photos of the green
It's
leaf.
just not worth it. Can't show photos, can't talk about
Not
it.
this green leaf.
Yeah.
We're talking about that green leaf.
Yeah.
Which, it's not us, it's YouTube. They demonetise us. Cut us off at the head.
Any last comment? Last comment.
Dale, another member, said, did Jay break his laptop or forget to bring it to work?
Oh, Dale.
No, this is...
Thank you for being a member, firstly. But
This is a great move forward. I said to Jay, don't put your laptop on the table today. I'm allowed to have one because I'm special.
Yep.
But you did great today. You don't
Thank
need
you.
a laptop.
Just trying to improve presenting skills. I think having a laptop in front of me makes me look at the laptop a lot more and
does.
engage with the camera, the audience, and Tim, Carmel a lot less.
Yeah, we're trying to get better at doing this job because we're not professional presenters. We're not the BBC. We're not Fox. We're definitely not Fox.
We're definitely not.
Because neither of us are blonde with long legs.
Does anybody aspire to be Fox?
Well, as far as their presentation skills are concerned,
okay.
they're very professional there.
Yeah, sure.
And they have very high standards for their female hosts.
You're like a young, well, not young, but you're like a angry Bill O'Reilly.
I don't really want to be compared to somebody like Bill O'Reilly.
Presenting skills?
Yeah, he was barely a human being.
Oh, okay.
And same with Sean Hannity. These
No.
are low lives.
Oh, allegedly.
Don't want to be anything like those
His
people.
cancel culture. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the show there. We're gonna end the show there.
Oh, we're just getting wound up.
Yeah.
The big day with the BMA and the decision about Songkran. So that's
Yes.
coming up later today.
Yeah, so stay tuned to thethaiger.com to find the latest information and all the updates. As for now, I'd like to say thank you to Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you to Carmel. Thank you to
you.
Noom. Thank you, viewers, for watching the show. Thaiger legends and members for supporting the show.
Legends.
We wish you a great Monday, and we hope you have a great Monday. And join us tomorrow.